With the new popular show, The Mandalorian, lots of Star Wars fans have become more and more obsessed with the culture and where they came from. Well, hello there, my name is Sam and I would love the opportunity to tell you a story of the history of Mandalorians. Firstly, it's important to understand that being Mandalorian doesn't mean you have to come from the planet Mandalore. To be Mandalorian, you must follow their code, their creed. Strength is life, for the strong have the right to rule. Honor is life, for with no honor, one may as well be dead. Loyalty is life, for without one's clan, one has no purpose. Death is life. One should die as they have lived. While these words alone may make up the bulk of what you would expect Mandalorians to be like, there is still more to it. Obeying and living by the Mandalorian culture also meant things like contributing to your clan and raising your own kids as Mandalorian. Just like Jin in the series, wearing the famous armor is a must for any Mandalorian. It would bring dishonor to remove it. You would also be expected to respond to Mandalore's call. You will fight and die gloriously for your Mandalore. There is a lot of rich, fantastic backstory for the Mandalorians that I just don't want to skip over. So for this video, we're going to rewind all the way back to the first Mandalore ever, and how the Mandalorians came into contact with the Jedi for the first time. As you saw in the teaser trailer for the new season of The Mandalorian,
You expect me to search the galaxy and deliver this creature to a race of enemy sorcerers?
This is the way.
they and the Jedi absolutely do have a history together. Next week I plan to release another Mandalorian explained video which I'll tell you a little bit about at the end of this video. For now, just sit back and enjoy the story. The Mandalorians lived and died by their code and creed. It shaped them and ultimately made them who they are. The society is made up of individual clans that made up houses, similar to royal houses but with a much more efficient way of doing things. The Mandalorian people were incredibly hard workers. If they ever brought dishonor to their clan or family, they would be cast aside and told they deserved no place in Mandalore afterlife, which was great motivation for getting things done. Every decision they make must have the interests of their clan in mind. However, things were not always this way. In fact, the origin of the Mandalorians is really quite different from what you might expect. The Mandalorians did in fact originate from one species, the Tong, who actually came from Coruscant. The Tong and the Zell, who were also natives to Coruscant, to keep this simple, were at war for many centuries. Eventually, the Zell defeated the Tong, and they were forced to abandon Coruscant and find another world to call home. The Tong, as a species, embody everything you already know and love about Mandalorians. Fighting with honor, dying with honor, albeit with somewhat more savage ways. Uncivilized. With new worlds came new opportunities. One Tong warrior directed the people to glory, conquering a new world that was overrun with monsters named mythosaurs. The mighty Tong leader defeated the mythosaurs and proclaimed themselves Mandalore the First, leader of the people. Everyone who followed took the title of son or daughter of Mandalore, Mandalorian. They then named the planet Mandalore after their leader. Fun fact for you, the mythosaur's skull is actually the symbol of the Mandalorian people, commonly seen on their armor as decals. It was also said that the Mandalorians were able to tame and ride the legendary mythosaurs. After conquering Mandalore and other worlds, more and more species came into the ranks of Mandalorians, expanding their armies and trade routes. Eventually, Mandalore the First created a group of warriors to be known as Mandalorian Crusaders. These Crusaders would put all of their effort into seeking glory in battle, constantly searching for an honorable death. Legions of Mandalorian Crusaders took to the stars to find new worlds to conquer. As the Mandalorians furthered their reach and came ever closer to the inner rim of the galaxy, their meeting with the Jedi and the Republic was all but decided. The best of the Mandalorians, the Crusaders, had stumbled upon a new type of enemy, a sorcerer race that could send dozens of warriors flying with the flick of their wrist and slice through their armor and weapons like they were nothing. They were outmatched, outclassed, and forced to retreat. But the Mandalorians were no ordinary people anymore. They were innovative, mentally prepared, and they had a thirst for battle that not even the most frightening of wars could quench. They adapted, They evolved and built to beat their new opponents, the Jedi. The Mandalorian Crusaders had equipped themselves in preparation for another fight, using technology as their counter against the Force. With their swiftness in combat and initiative for sudden tactics, the Mandalorian Crusaders became a real and very dangerous threat to the Jedi. The two of them would trade blows for centuries with no chance of a potential alliance for the future. So this is how the Mandalorians first came into contact with the Jedi. But did you know that there was once a Mandalorian Jedi? Yep, that's right. Over 1,000 years before the Battle of Yavin, there was a human child Mandalorian who was adopted into the Jedi Order after discovering their Force sensitivity. This was the first time it had ever been done, despite the history of the relationship between the Jedi and the Mandalorians. This young Mandalorian's name was Tar Vizsla. Tar went on to construct the Darksaber, a weapon that made him stand out as a Jedi, carrying his heritage. Tar later became the leader of his people, which made him not just a Jedi, but a Mandalore too. Tar Vizsla died in the Valley of the Jedi at the time of the Fort Bomb, which was completely manipulated by Darth Bane. If that's a story you would like to hear, then be sure to drop a thumbs up on this video and let me know down in the comments. Okay folks, as I said earlier, next week I plan to release another Mandalorian explained video, except this time we'll be telling the story of how the Mandalorians are connected to Darth Revan. You may also know this era as the Mandalorian Wars. I hope you enjoyed listening to this story, and I hope to catch you in the next one. Peace out.
You must realize you are